wondering if you have to buy designer in order to look high-end? Earlier this year, we had a number of people in our survey ask us this question, and I wasn't really surprised. This is honestly a question I get a lot and something I feel like I'm always talking about with my one-on-one VIP clients. And recently, I saw that the New York Times actually published a study that was done, and it talked about how clothing has an effect on how we perform. And in it, they had participants wear a white coat. They told them that it was a doctor's coat and then an artist's coat. And which way do you think that people performed better? Across the board, it was wearing the doctor's coat, which is no surprise. They probably think more intelligence or whatever was associated with that. So it's not any surprise to me that I'm frequently coming up against this question when I have clients come to me and they're asking if they have to spend $1 million to feel and look like $1 million. Hi, I'm Crystal Cave, celebrity wardrobe stylist, and welcome back to Crystal Cave TV, where we answer all your most pressing style questions. In today's episode, I am going to be debunking this myth that you have to spend $1 million to look like $1 million. You can have a beer budget and look like champagne level amazingness. So in this video, I'm going to go through the 3 things you can look for and that I also personally look for when I'm looking for any item, whether it's designer or from Forever 21. So let's dive in. The first is just to decide what feels good on you. When I was in design school this summer at Palamoda in Italy, one of the things they had us do was decide the silhouette that we actually wanted to have for all of our designs. If you look at most designers, you'll be able to tell Versace from Chanel. They have different signatures and silhouettes that actually tell them apart. So that was like a really interesting thing to me, and I started to realize this is what I always do with many of my women in Style Icon Academy, with my VIP clients, and even with myself. For me, I really love the hourglass silhouette, and so that's really what influenced a lot of my designs in design school. I also learned in our contemporary fashion class about beauty and how our eyes basically see beauty. So when we see something that is symmetric, so a face that has, symmetric features on both sides, we're gonna naturally perceive that as more beautiful. Whether it is or not is totally in the eye of the beholder, but that's generally what it is. So really, for you, finding the silhouette and what really feels good on you may be something different. It doesn't have to be an hourglass silhouette, but I always have felt that after hearing that in design school, that was probably the reason I like a little bit more of an hourglass silhouette, because it's symmetric and I like symmetry in all areas of my life. You should look at my bedside tables. They're completely the same. So if you're one of those people, you probably would like more of an hourglass silhouette. And I also need to give you a big disclaimer here. Blah, blah, blah. Listen to me now. This all comes after you figure out what your style is. So don't just jump the gun and figure out a silhouette. You can check out my previous episode on why I really hate those dress for your body type articles, which talks all about my feelings in this area. The next thing I want you to figure out is, or at least pay attention to, is the construction of the garment. You can look and feel and touch the fabric, and most importantly, try the item on. If it doesn't fit you and make you feel like $1 million, you're never gonna wear the thing out and exude the confidence that you would need to pull the entire thing off. And the last is that I always remind myself that just because something is expensive does not mean it's better. If the silhouette doesn't work for me and it doesn't fit with my style, it doesn't have a good feeling quality to the fabric, even if it could mean it's expensive, but I find it itchy, I'll never feel good in it. So really make sure you're keying into what your style inspiration is, kind of like what I talked about in point 1, and just making sure that it feels good for you and you're feeling inspired, because You do not have to buy designer to look like it was well constructed and well made. We have so many great options these days. Also, I just wanted to talk about this financial reality check that we all need. You need to make sure that you are spending what you're comfortable with. So I understand certain people might have $500 or $5,000 to spend. Doesn't mean one person's better than the other, but you just need to figure out what your reality is and then go and figure out how to dress yourself within your means, essentially. I don't want people going over credit card debt or doing anything shopping. Shopping addiction is a big issue. I'm semi-recovering from that myself. I don't know if I was full-fledged like some people. I do like shiny things, and you need to really be realistic as to what you're actually spending and making sure that you're not using it as a way to make yourself feel better about yourself in that way, like if you can't afford it. So you might also wonder what I like to invest in. I'm a big fan actually of mixing high and low items, and it actually surprises people a lot. I love going to places like Nordstrom Rack or TJ Maxx and really searching for things. A lot of people don't like that mental hurdle. So I do also frequently find a lot of items for a discounted price, and so I'm able to rock a lot of these more like designer type level dresses, but I paid a fraction of the price. I also really love spending money on good quality accessories, like my handbags and my shoes are things that I find really important because I feel like I'm always like moving around and there's like a lot of wear and tear, they get hit, my shoes need to support me, so I find that really important. So I always suggest finding good quality shoes, one good handbag. You don't need a bunch of crap in order to look great. It's really about having stuff that matches your style, and I really like great classic pieces myself. And then speaking of classic pieces, the other things I really like investing in for my wardrobe are great classic pieces. So whether it's like a color confidence dress, so a great dress that you love, that's a color that makes you feel bold and powerful and amazing, or like a little black dress, those are things that I like to spend a little bit more money because they're normally better constructed and can last me for a number of years. Like it surprises me when I go into my closet now and I realize that I've had a number of items for almost a decade because they're great classic items, and my body has fluctuated, but not so much. They still work for me. So I would love to hear from you. Has this changed your mind at all that you have to spend $1 million to look like $1 million? I really hope I have debunked that myth for many of you. I would of course love to hear your feedback and comments in the comment section below this video. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I want you to also remember that great style has no size, and you can feel amazing in the size you are now. You truly deserve to go out into the world, whether you spend $1 million or don't, and show the world exactly who you are and what your style is. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time on Crystal Cave TV.